Hello, good people. We are back for another episode of Big Six Bands. It is the LFC call-in show. Obviously, we will be reacting to Liverpool's game today against Fürth. And of course, it is a call-in show. So the fans, and when I say the fans, the community will obviously get their chance to have a go and speak to us on panel. Every Monday, of course, you guys get your call-in show. I've kept my promise. You guys smashed the like score last time, so let's do this again. Today, I'm joined by kmack, and I'm also joined by G. First thing you guys need to do is make sure you subscribe to those two. Their apps are at the top, should be at the top there, or should be at the bottom there. Either way, it's in the title, so make sure you go and subscribe to those two channels there. Of course, again, thank you guys for hitting 5.2k yesterday. So again, now we are on the road to 5.3. This is becoming an every 4 to 5 days sort of thing. So let's try and keep that going. Every 4 to 5 days. This bit at the bottom saying road to 5.3. Hopefully we road to 5.4 in about 4 days. So let's keep that going with all that speed. G, kmack, brothers, what you man telling me?
All good, bro. All good. You know what I mean? Like easy like Sunday morning, my brother. Easy like Sunday morning. Guys, you heard it already. He's on the road to 5.3. Let's get them bloody likes in. Let's smash the subscribe button. I'm talking every week. I want to be seeing 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. You know the drill, man. So let's keep smashing it.
If you're new, you're in the chat and you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. Do it. It's free.
Literally.
As I said, people, we're gonna get to the like. So we're gonna get to the goal in a second within the stream. Let's pick up a few people in the chat though. Big up Tyrell Gunner, first one here. You know what I'm saying? Punctual, more punctual than me. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's more punctual.
Yes, Tyrell.
Anyway, big up Ravi as well. LYT as well. Big up. He says big up to Monts. What is the priority now, a defender or a midfielder? Because with Matip and Gomez as our back defenders, we got no chance to compete for trophies. Oh, we will get to
that. He's going straight in.
We will get to that. Kiers says proper Europa League scrap there. Kiers, after your membership, you was literally a seasoned member of the Europa League as an Arsenal fan. So that is incredibly cheeky talking about Europe. Big up Samuel says, why is Kids talking about Europa like his team has won it before? They won neither. Europa all champs. So, you know, very, very cheeky of Arsenal fans. Big up Ravi as well again. Big up Salmon as well. Says Kids is so shameless. But we all love Kids though. So, you know, big him up as well. Big up KLFC in the house. You know what I'm saying? GTV saying smash the like button. And big up Gary Richards as well. Honesty's in the house as always says, I'm telling you, sell Matip and Joe G and Adrian, the Uruguayan 7th division of football, because to the Uruguayan 7th division of football, because I can't send them to Saudi. It's haram.
He didn't even say the bro. He said the Ugandan.
Oh, so you're right. I said you're right.
That's even, bro. I would have preferred to have gone to the Uruguayan. Man said I'm half Ugandan. So the fact that you just said the Ugandan 7th, yo, disrespectful, bro. That's mad.
Taking the absolute piss. The absolute piss. I can't even lie.
I don't think they even have 7 divisions.
Gee, you played in like the 5th league, didn't you?
Yeah, bro, this is it, bro. Like people ain't respecting the Ugandan 7th league. Like, come on, bro. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
It's crazy, man. Of course, just that one threw me off. So I said Ugandan 7th. Yeah, yo. Sabozalai is injured. Yes, I know. Big up Ant as well. You know what I'm saying? Big up Kings Marno as well, man. Just big up the gang. We got over 50 people in the chat already, and we're not even 3 minutes into the video. So I love this channel. It's going crazy, man. Even at 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying? If other people are live, like, you know, all the stream traffic and the people are still choosing to be here, just know we appreciate it. Just so we know the timeline today, people in the chat, we will be speaking about the Liverpool game. And then once we get to a certain amount of likes, as you know, we're going to open the lines for you guys to come and say your piece on how you feel about the Liverpool game, and also about the defense being a possible issue for Liverpool. Some people do, some people don't. Majority think there is, though. So I'd like to think we're on the same page there. Do you know what I'm saying? Morsheen with the first super chat. He goes, G, my Ugandan brother.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
listen, I'm dropping people like little bits about myself every stream. Like, so now you guys know I'm half Ugandan. You know.
Come on, man. There you go, man. Getting to know the people. Big up for the super chat, my brother.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up.
So, the goal today. Well, let's just say the amount of likes we need for the people to call in. What are we saying? 120? 100?
Yeah.
120?
What we on now?
How many people?
Right now we're on 31.
100. Get them in early.
I'm saying 115.
115. Chat, let me know how many likes you lot think until we start letting the callers in, man.
You guys know what to do. Like, real talk. You guys know what to do. You're watching this shit for free. Come on, man. You know the
I'll
deal.
go 130. I'll go
130.
130. There's a little bit of echo. By the way. Might be. Hold on. There's a slight echo. Gee, I think it might be coming from yours. Might have to just.
Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?
No. I can hear myself through your screen. Through your screen, it might be. So yeah, just double check. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, no, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
130. We're doing 130.
No, let's do. Big up KLFC, by the way. He's also been a member for a month. He's saying 150. That's not for the like total of the video. 150 will be the video like goal. To get the chat, to get the members in for the chat, for the call in, I'm gonna say 110 likes. We'll say 110.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll say we say 110. I don't think that's too bad because there's like 60 something in here already, so it's like.
Go on, hit those likes.
Oh no, okay. If there's that many people already, then yeah. 110 should be. Come on, people. 110 should be minor in it. Cool. So let's just start off with the game, innit? Liverpool 4, Fürth 4. Is the defense an issue? Well, the answer is 100% yes. Outside of our starting 4, the defense is definitely an issue. I think even with the starting 4, the defense is an issue. And another thing I want to throw in there is the tactics. It's not just the personnel in defense. I think it's also the tactics because let's be real. No matter how good you are as a defender, we prime Maldini. If you're facing 3v2s every time, you're going to get beaten at one point. It's going to happen, especially against the better attackers of your own generation. So, what do you guys think the main issue is? And personnel-wise, who do you think it just can't happen anymore and they need to go? Or what was your opinions on the defending? I'll let Kema, you go first, man.
Okay. I don't think it's the personnel. I think it's the tactics. Like, I'm really concerned about this inverted right back. I mean, today we'll be playing inverted left back as well. Like, what the hell? Like, is it like, oh well, we're just playing these like second division German teams, so we'll just wing it because that's what it really felt like. Like, it felt like there was no structure. For me, the defense to the midfield is a problem. Like, the transition, we are getting caught. I mean, the way we play football is to catch the other team out in that position when they transition from their defense to midfield. Because when we catch the ball and press high, we're then right on their goal. That's what happens to us now. And we're not doing anything to combat that. And it doesn't matter what players you play, if you haven't got that system right, and you've got your right back all over the shop, you've got your left back in midfield, and you're literally relying on 2 centre-backs who are then trying to play it to the DM, who's not a DM, and he's not really in a DM's position, or you're playing it to a right back who's in the midfield, or you're playing it to a left back in the midfield. What on earth are you doing? Like, that is a big worry. That's a big worry. We can talk about that more in detail, but it's the actual tactics and the formation which are a worry, not the personnel.
Stu?
Yeah. Probably, I've said it. You already know my thoughts on the manager, who manages this football club. So, like, call it an agenda. I don't really care at this point. I think we've gone past that stage now. It's like certain things that you're seeing. You saw it in the first half. Like, it's weird because they didn't have a shot on goal, but the way we were kind of set up and we played at times, it was like as K-Mac said, rightly so, like the things that we're trying to do to others, it's almost kind of happening to us in a sense. And it's now coming to a point where it's starting to not really matter who's in defense, whether you've got Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, I expect them to be strong because they're the strongest defenders that we've got in the team. But when we're talking about, maybe against better opposition and things like that, even today in the first half, like you could kind of see it, they weren't getting in terms of finding themselves maybe right in front of our goal or anything like that. What they were really good at finding is finding those spaces in the wide areas. And that's always going to be an issue when you've got a left-sided centre-back who doesn't know how to play the position, a right-sided centre-back who spends more time on the floor fouling than he does just being a normal defender out there. And then you've got obviously Virgil, who's too cool for school. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a weird combination, maybe in a different set.
Too cool for school.
You've got someone who loves getting their boots dirty, and then you've got someone who doesn't like getting their boots dirty.
Yeah, and the thing is that can work. And I'm not even going to sit and try to act like that didn't work at the time. Of course it did. Virgil van Dijk was and probably still is, well, he was the best defender outright, and it still is one of the top defenders out there. I'm not going to act like that's changed or anything like that. But what you're seeing and what we saw even in the last 10 games of the season is that Liverpool are being carved open way too easily. Now, in the second half is obviously different because of the players that we had. The first half, I could still see it, pockets of spaces, wide areas. Why? Why is that always a problem? But then I knew the answer. When you've got that type of manager and that's what he does, that's how he wants the team to play, why do we expect anything different? People in the chat, people online, people everywhere keep telling me, nah, sign this guy. People act like we sign Colwell and things will change. It won't change. What we'll have is another defender who's too cool for school and is just going to spend his time just trying to be real nice on the ball. And he is nice on the ball, but we're still going to get carved open. Like, that's never, ever going to change because we play with a law of averages. Yeah, I mean, it's just more like high risk, high reward kind of football. And you can play it. It works for Klopp, so I can't even knock him for it. But I think teams have wised up to it now, man. So it is what it is moving forward, bro.
Yeah,
that is 100% high risk. That is the word.
Do you know what I hear too much from? Do you know what I say to myself, or what thought comes from? Like, this is the thought that actually that hits me way too much when I'm watching Liverpool defend. Oh, if his decision making was a bit better, he would have been in. Oh, if that was a better player, he would have conceded. Oh, if he could pass, if he was a better dribbler, we would have been in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like, why am I thinking? Yeah.
Oh, if that was Real Madrid, we'd be 5-0 down.
Yeah. Why do I always think, yo, if that was a better team, we'd be in trouble? Or, you know what I'm saying? If he got his head up, that reverse pass was on, we're in trouble. Too many times last season, I had to think to myself, a better team would have smoked us. And then eventually, after drawing a bag of games at the start of the season, those draws turned to losses. You know what I'm saying? I.e. the Leeds game, the Forest game, the Brighton game, the Wolves game. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mons, just think of those teams you're saying, and then we've just played who? Karlsruhe and Fürth, and it's happened again. Like, that is a worry. Like, you missed out Bournemouth as well, by the way. But
yeah, I didn't even get. Yeah, those are just the ones I gave were just at the top. Were just off the top of my head, innit? Like, and that is the issue for me. I mentioned this when I was on stream with Callum on Friday, and what really, really annoyed me was that every time I do watch Liverpool play, going forward, and we'll get to the strikers, we'll get to the front runners, because I think going forward, we look as dangerous as ever. I'm actually very impressed with what I'm seeing going forward. It's just going back the other way. I'm now looking at certain man. Don't get me twisted. My opinion has not changed on Joe Gomez, Matip, Tsimikas. Those three for me, I'm looking at fraud watch goggles, innit? Fraud watch goggles to me. Them three, I'm very worried about. Matip looks for me, he is finished. Matip is finished, bro. Anything off the ball, he is done out here. Joe Gomez, you know what? As a right back, I'm not opposed to it, but he can never play centre back for my club again. He can never play centre back for Liverpool again, unfortunately. Tsimikas, he's just worrying me. He just looks on the ball. He just looks like when you're looking at a Liverpool defender, he's the press point. He's the one you press. He's the trigger press. It's Tsimikas. You're like, press him, he'll lose the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Press him and he'll get sent off.
You know what I'm saying? So now, and I'm looking at, and obviously, but I can identify those three all day long, and I can identify those three and what they lack and what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. But the main issue, and I'm leaning to K-Mac's side on this one, is that why is it every time the opposition has the ball, if the first point of the press is not perfect, if the press is not perfect, why is the second phase so easy? Whether it's a switch of play or whether it's a pass through the middle, it's often more a switch of play, but it's too many times the defensive four goes like this. And the flanks, it's just hella green, like we're in Amsterdam or something. It's just hella green. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Can I say something funny? I say a lot of funny stuff, but can I say something funny? Do you remember Football Manager, back in the 90s, and you used to play the Christmas tree formation? Yeah, and it was like a cheat, and you could score like magnificent goals. That's what it feels like we're playing now.
Yeah.
but we're still conceding loads.
It feels like we're playing 4-2-4 at times, yeah. And when I'm with the back four, I hate the fact that I see the wing backs do this, and like there's just no one. It's like there's no one there. So any winger, you don't even have to be a good winger. You're gonna get the chance to face up the right centre back or the left centre back or the wing backs 1-on-1. You're gonna get a shot 1-on-1, like. And the goals they scored were evident of that. The two goals we conceded about a week back were evident of that. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it's just jarring to see that it's not changing. The only team that used to find space in the flanks against us was Man City, because they always used to do the thing where they'll knock it around, switch, and the switch will come mad quick. And you'll see Robbo, Milner getting 2v1 all the time. But you know what? You could say, it's Man City, arguably the best footballing side in the world. So, like, as long as we're potent with our attack, we can probably get a result at Man City, or we can get a draw. You know what I'm saying? It's still we're head to head. But this whole flanks thing, this new version where the line pushes forward onto the halfway line, and then goes like that, that's got to stop.
But look, the thing is, I've got I don't want people to think I've got an agenda, but I do have an agenda anyway, because I don't like the manager or the way that he plays. And this is very evident of it. Like, we play a style of football that is high risk with high reward. So when you're in that kind of position, if you don't have the right players, and when I say the right players, I'm like, it doesn't matter who. It could be Henderson in his prime, Wijnaldum, Milner, and all that. It doesn't actually matter. It's about these players being in their peak optimum prime. If they're not in that position, bro, it just starts getting complete and utterly mad. And then you see what we're seeing now, which is constantly in the wide areas, because he wants to play when we have the ball. I don't know. It's like narrow up to a point, and then, as you said, things start to happen in that attacking third, which obviously we'll get into. But like, it starts to look good there. You know, combination of play and Jota, Gakpo, they start doing all this stuff. Cool, it looks all great there. But then prior to that, it's just slow, boring football, knocking it about. You've got players in the back line who ain't even comfortable with the ball anyway. So when you're knocking it about, you're not knocking it around with players who are super comfortable. You're knocking it around with probably one defender who's comfortable, which is Van Dijk at that. Yeah. And then the other two are kind of like, I don't really want the ball, so can we just get the ball as forward as, quick as possible, etc., etc. Then the team obviously gets into that midfield position. Once you get into that midfield position, you're with Trent today, as we saw, like, for those who watched the game in the first half. Again, very non-existent, was getting pressed a lot. The team that we were playing against today, Fürth, they were super aggressive. They had that tenacity. Once they showed that, they were able to kind of lock into Trent. Trent just became kind of useless in that sixth position. So then you're like, well, why are you here then? Because I thought you being here was gonna dictate play and I don't know, add something to the team going forward. But you didn't add anything. Like it was actually just kind of a waste, of a player being there, and then you have to knock it back to the defenders. And then you saw with Konate, lost the ball a couple of times, lose touches, not looking too comfortable. It's just the same things, man. Look, it's only preseason, so it's really not even that deep. But at the same time, like I just want to see something different, and I'm just seeing the same football that I've been watching for like 7 years. And I'm honestly, bro, like I said already, and I've said on various other places and channels, like I don't actually care anymore. Like Klopp, do what you're doing. If this is how you want to play your football like this, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's your job on the line. If you get sacked tomorrow, I'm not crying about it. You know what I mean? Because you ain't trying to change nothing that's really happening. If we're gonna keep conceding these chances, keep conceding these silly goals. Yes, I know the team was different before anyone gets at me in the second half. I know the defense was a lot shitter than the first half, but we saw the first half. We saw that they were getting into these areas. Mont said it before. Why is it we watch a game of Liverpool and you're always sitting there thinking, hey, better ball across. Hey, if he would just got that dribble, like you just named the teams that bro, you didn't name flipping Man City or Arsenal or Chelsea. You named Leeds, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Leicester City. Like we're talking about teams who are not even at the top end of things. But these are the type of teams who are getting through our press with such ease and then finding gaps. We saw the Aston Villa game last season towards the back end. Ollie Watkins having a field day.
Don't steal my thunder. I wanted to talk about that.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll finish. Yeah, no, go ahead. So guys, make sure you're smashing that like, man. We're getting close.
What I wanted to talk about was we seen this last year against Tottenham and Aston Villa. Like we could see that teams could get at us from the wide positions. So what I was looking for in pre-season was that to have stopped because it was blatantly obvious that was what teams were going to do. And that's what these two teams just did. Like they got at us at the wide positions because that's where we're weak. And what I find unbelievable is, are we so naive that we think that teams aren't going to do their homework on us and they're not going to look at how weak we are in our positions and we're just going to carry on regardless and just steamroll them? That's just not going to happen. Like next season, teams are going to know how to play against us if we play this way, which is why we need to look at other ways to play, as in 3 at the back, double pivot. Like we need to look at different ways to play. I looked at the heat map today and it was exactly the same as the heat map against Aston Villa and Tottenham and all the other teams that we played. It's exactly the same. There was no difference. And my issue is, and this isn't an agenda, by the way, but my issue is, and I've really got the feeling that Klopp is going to play Trent as a DM, and he's going to play that badly that we are all going to want him to go back into the right back position. And then he's going to put him back in the right back position, and he's going to turn around and say, look, I was right. He can't play in midfield. But he can play in midfield if you play him in the right midfield position. But playing him as a Fabinho, as a destroyer, is just stupid because guess what? He's not a destroyer. He never will. He never will be a destroyer. He's a guy that needs time on the ball. He needs to have people around him that can give him the space so then he can create and pass that worldie. But if we keep on playing him the way we do, he's going to lose form. He's not going to like playing there. And then guess what? He's going to be back at right back again.
Well, I'll say to that, I'll actually disagree with you in that, in terms of, I don't think he's playing him there as a destroyer. When you play Trent in that position, I don't think you want him to be a destroyer in there. I think you just want him to do exactly what he does, which is keep possession, recycle, get the ball moving, kind of be that link between, kind of the link for everybody, link between defense and midfield, and then midfield to attack, release players. He released Diaz for the goal. Very well taken goal, by the way, from Luis Diaz in that first half. Something I want to see a lot more of, moving on to next season, getting himself in those kind of positions and stuff like that. That's what I think he wants him to do. I don't feel like he wants him to be a destroyer because, rightfully so, you just said it, he ain't a destroyer. Trent could never be a destroyer because that's not his game. and I don't want him to be anyway because that's just not his type of game. But when I'm just looking at it, yeah, it's honestly, look, it's preseason. People say don't take it that deep. I guess it's not really that deep, but I think what you want to see from preseason, or what I try to take away, is, are the team doing anything, as K-Mac said, are they doing anything a bit differently? Something that would maybe indicate that, all right, you know what, Liverpool, even if you lose the game or draw the game, okay, Liverpool are playing a bit differently now. You know, they're showing good combinations of play in other areas. We've set up a bit differently as well. Teams don't really know how to take us anymore. I would love that, and then still draw 4-4. Then I can see it, because then you take the context of the second half and with the team. But then when I can't take it when it's like I'm seeing the same things I saw first half, second half. Obviously, we had a shitter team, so that tells me then this Europa League stuff that everyone keeps telling me about, like we're just gonna play two teams. Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon, because that team's not good enough to.
I mean, if
make
we
it
can concede 4 against a second division German team, then how well are we going to do in the Europa League with them?
Yeah, well, I saw the pots today, but it looks kind of sticky.
So, and that's my thing. It's like who is actually implementing these defensive tactics? Is it Klopp? Is it Pep? Is it both? Both of them can get the blame, to be honest. I just feel like at this moment they need to just, instead of this whole, it's not even just about getting the invert right. It then just drops to basic defensive tactics for me. I just feel like it's the obvious to protect your flanks. We all know you can't go through the middle, but also protect your flanks, or at least protect one flank. One, we just need both of them.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Yeah, one of them, but both of them just open, and it's like it's scary that even Division 2 Bundesliga Bundesliga teams are able to look at that and go. And the worst thing is, it's the same pattern as last preseason game. First half, it's like the team will play and go, wait, hold on a minute. Wait, so we can just switch it and it will work? Like, the first 45 minutes is always quite like, oh, okay, like, we're trying to play how we play. And then they go, wait a minute, this is Liverpool. Just switch it.
They got the feelers out.
Yeah,
they got the feelers out on us.
Just switch it. And the guy's like, no. This is a Premier League proven team. You can't just switch it.
They're gonna get someone to cover that, aren't they?
The coach is just going, no. Just switch it. And they're like, coach, are you sure you want us to switch it? Like, this is Liverpool Football Club. Just switch it. I promise you it's going to work. Once it works, it's just who notices it first. So these two teams are so bad, it took them about 60 minutes to notice it. 60 odd minutes. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, when you start that game in the Premier League, it's going to take 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, mate. You're going to do that against Poch. Yeah, he's going to spot on straight away.
5 minutes. And if you again, it don't matter how crap wingers are, bro. It really don't matter how crap wingers are.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they will have enough runs, bro. They'll have enough runs. So
the Premier League is too intense for all of that. Like, you don't really have like crap wingers. Like, you just got there's just levels to the wingers that are here. Like, you either got Mo Salah level or you got like Almiron level, but Almiron level is still good enough to harm you. Like, you get what I'm trying to say.
Still get tucked in. You can tuck.
You can still get tucked in. Same way. So I think, teams, as you said, man, teams will just look. It's the second game, and I want people to understand this. Like, ultimately, there were good things about that first half as well. Like, I really like the attacking side of things from the team, but it's just defensively. And I know we didn't concede shots. I know we didn't concede any goals. Before anyone says, did you watch it? Listen, I watched the whole game. I understand that. But again, I'm looking at the patterns of play in terms of the whole game in its entirety. And there's certain things, as Mont said, you always get that feeling with Liverpool. Hey, if it was just Almiron level, you know what I'm saying? You get tucked in. Like, and again, I'm not talking Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Mahrez, Grealish. I'm not talking, forget those guys, because they will hurt Real Madrid, as we've seen. I'm talking about Almiron. No disrespect, by the way, to Almiron, because I think he's a good player. But that's the type of player, Harvey Barnes, like, you know, these type of guys who will come in
any of them, man.
Bro, like, those that level of type of player.
They're all players that score against us, by the way.
Sorry?
They're all players that score goals against us as well. Just named.
Again,
there you go.
Can I just say something on that? And this is just, I'm just trying to say that, like, this isn't an agenda, by the way. Like, I'd be very happy if we'd have won those two games that we just played 1-0. each game, and it was a scrappy goal or whatever, and there was no real attack and flair in it. As long as the defence and the midfield looked solid, I would be really happy, because I'd sit there and go, well, that didn't look like last season. That looks like they've been working on the defence. It looks like we've kind of tightened up. It looks like we're not doing those stupid things that we did last season. But I'm not seeing that. I'm still seeing loads of goals, loads of flair, and loads of shit at the back.
And I'm just going to add to that. It's a mental thing. If anyone who's played football knows, if you know a team naturally leaks goals, you're just going to feel like you're going to score against them. You don't have to be good enough. You can just feel like you're going to score against someone. And when you feel like you're able to get at someone, you actually it's more likely you're going to be successful with a defender in a 1-on-1, with a deflected. Even just those finer details of football can come off you just because you think, you know what, we're going to get something today. If you know a team is rigid and mad hard to break down, it's like, oh, now we have to second think everything we do to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I used to see from Liverpool when we were really good, from I'd say 20 in the quad challenging season and the I'd say 2017, end of 2017 to 2020, is that teams would get such little opportunities. When teams did get to the 1-on-1, it's like they were tired. It's like, oh, finally we got an opportunity, but because they hadn't had one all game, they skied it. Or it
was like, okay, we got past Mane, we got past the press off Mane, okay, we got past Gini Wijnaldum. God, that was really tough. Oh my God, we've just managed to get past Fabinho. Oh my God, I've managed to run past Virgil van Dijk, and then when I get to Alisson, I'm like, I'm not going to score past him, am I?
Yeah.
One of you people in the chat, yeah, one of you stat guys, like I can't see it right now. Let me know. For me, the best time Liverpool, like when I looked at them and said, yo, defensively solid, was that 18-19 season. So I don't know how many goals we conceded in that season. So again, if anyone can let me know in terms of the goals that we conceded. But that's when I saw the team was working like such a unit. But it wasn't even just that for me. It was even the way that we pressed, the way that we defended. You know, it didn't look so open. You know, Trent didn't look like he was always so vulnerable. Robbo didn't look like he was still bombing forward, but there was that level of security, you know, down that side. Fabinho obviously playing in that role and blah, blah, blah. Was it just purely because the players were at their optimum level of peakness, like where they could just do these kind of things? If so, then again, that's something that the manager is going to need to look at and say, I haven't got the players to do exactly what I need. So maybe, as K-Mac and Monts have alluded to, kind of need to play a bit differently so that we're not being carved open. Because I'll be honest, even in that season that we won the league, yes, I know we won the league and winning games, but Jesus Christ, we were still getting carved open and chances were still being made available to the other team. But as these guys have said, once you've passed like Mane, then you got through Fabinho, now you got to Van Dijk, now you're finally at Alisson. Now everyone's like, yeah, see, I ain't got the energy to try and score past one of the best keepers in the world. It just ain't happening. So, you know, those kind of things just wouldn't come off in that kind of case. But then as the seasons have gone on, I just felt like it's just happened more and more and more and more. And yeah, for me, I'm just not really feeling it. And I've just not really been happy with the way the team have kind of gone in terms of the way that we play since that 18-19 season. I've not been happy with the team in a general sense. But obviously, when you're winning, no one's complaining. You're happy as Larry. So, you know, it is what it is, really and truly, bro.
This is what I'm saying, man. I feel like, I don't know, man. Listen, but before we get into the attack, still 181 people in the house right now, and we are currently sitting on 77 likes. We are roughly, I believe, 33 likes away from our 110 like goal for the callers to be able to call in. Now, people, this will not be the longest show in the world. So if you want to call in, get your brothers, sisters, mothers, auntie to keep liking the video. Get those likes up, because at the moment, 33 likes up. That's a lot of likes. You know what I'm saying? So smash the like button and make sure you're subscribing to the channel. I understand sometimes you are engrossed in the content, but listen, smash the like button, man, because I really want to hear some of the opinions of the callers of what they thought on the Liverpool defense and the attack. You know what I'm saying? There's so many guys we want to hear from, you know, so let's give everyone the chance. Attack. The Liverpool attack. Now, Darwin Núñez, before everyone says anything, credit to Darwin Núñez. Very impressive his movement today. Very impressive his composure today. I feel like he just played under pressure. That looked like a man to me today that was under zero pressure and just did what he needed to do. 3 goal involvements. I believe that's 3 goals and 1 assist in 2 games. Yes, the opposition isn't great. Yes, was this opposition perfect for Darwin Núñez to play against with the way they played the high line? Absolutely. But you can only beat and score what's in front of you. And we have to give him credit. For those, you guys know my opinion. I do not think he is good enough, but I'm here to be proven wrong. I'm not the one playing on the pitch. He is. Yeah. So for someone like him to go and get these goals early in pre-season, listen, he scored 4 goals in 45 minutes last season against Leipzig. So he's capable, but it's just about whether he can translate that to the Premier League and he can get his confidence going. Mo Salah, just a level above everyone as always, a level above. You can just see it in his, like, no one's ever...
You just know.
Yeah, the reverse pass, the flicks, the ball retention. I just don't... What more do I need to say, really? You can just see it where he plays. Diaz as well. Very impressed with the goal. Very impressed. More of that. I want to see the ball hit the side netting. I'm so used to Diaz not striking the ball cleanly. More of that. I think if we can get Diaz... I still think he's lost a little bit of speed because of the injury. Yeah. But there are times where he does look still so dangerous on the ball. The way he drops his shoulder. Diaz could have a massive part to play this season. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to keep the energy the same. I'm not happy with the 4 goals conceded, so I'm going to flag it. But I also have to flag the positives. And the positives I saw was that Núñez, Salah, and Diaz looked very, very good.
No.
But are they going to get that much space in the Premier League? Absolutely not.
I'm just going to comment in, and I'll have to go. Okay, sorry guys. So what I really like is I like the fact that we've got 2 partnerships that are kind of taking shape now, as in Jota and Gakpo and Salah and Núñez. Like, I feel like they're getting that partnership together, which means they're going to start cooking and they're going to start providing more goals for each other, and they like passing to each other, which is obviously a good thing. Which we obviously didn't see a lot of the opposite way from Mane to Salah when they played together. So I really like that. And I also like the fact that Núñez is starting to take more responsibility and not look for Salah as much, which is good because he needs to. Like, he needs to take on that mantle of scoring goals, because I do think Núñez is going to score more goals next season. I think he's going to be our top goal scorer. I really do.
Over Salah?
Yeah, I think he's going to outscore Salah next season, because I feel like Salah is going to be more of a leader. And I really hope that Salah might get the vice captaincy. I think he should get the captaincy, by the way, because if he gets the captaincy, then he won't look at Saudi Arabia, because he'll want to be that true legend at Liverpool. And giving him that,
I see the money they're offering people.
No, but
I'm sorry. And
I
by
don't
the way,
see Salah being that guy.
Salah is already like in terms of like the Muslim culture, like he's already like a god. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way do you know what I'm saying? The way he's held in Africa is crazy. Obviously not as maybe as much as Mane, but like, yo, he's appreciated.
Salah's like the Beatles.
Over to Saudi Arabia,
like the Beatles over there.
They will treat him like a god.
I know.
Over there.
I wouldn't even, I'm sorry to even, I wouldn't even, you know what? I would even dispel that. In Africa, no. I don't think he's held in that high regards, but that's just a bit more political and maybe a tad bit of racism in that. But that's just Africa in a general sense.
Egypt's
but
a little bit.
Talk about Middle East,
Western-y, isn't it?
Yeah, and because of it starts to get political. But in terms of Middle East,
love him in Saudi, but I don't think the captain's armband is enough for me to keep him there.
I think it would help.
Nah.
And remember, it's not like Salah has anything. My fear of Salah is that it's not like he has anything more to do. He's proven. He's came, he's seen, he's conquered. He might want more, and he probably might look at, if he looks at all the other teams right now, he can probably go anywhere. But at the end of the day, with Mo Salah, I just feel like with the money over there, I just don't see the captaincy stopping him from. I don't like Coutinho threw his toys out the pram, made him the captain. He's still fucked.
Bro, real talk. Yeah, bro.
Did we make him the
He's
captain?
He was
captain.
captain. Yeah.
Bro,
I remember that.
Dory was captain. We made him captain, bro.
Oh my god, I forgot that.
We made
exactly.
Coutinho captain after he threw his toys out the pram.
That can't happen again then.
I'm not gonna lie though, that Coutinho in that 17-18 for that half a season was redonkulous. Yes, he was ridiculous when he came back, but still, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
I
that's my whole spin on the attack. I think it's looking really good, but that's not the issue here. But on the positives, Nunes took those goals really well. Like,
yeah,
I
I generally think that it's a good spot for Nunes. I just feel like he's still not starting for Liverpool. I think Jota's just ahead of him. I think Gakpo's ahead of him just more so because of the style that Klopp wants to play going forward. Stylistically, Gakpo's preferred, and he's not going to play on the left wing over Diaz. It's not going to happen. I think Jota's almost a second left winger choice anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Big up, bro.
yeah, have a good one. Great show, guys. All right.
Take care, man. Take care.
Get those likes up.
Yeah, we're on 95 so far. So again, we need about 15 likes, people. 15 likes, and then we'll let the callers in and stuff. And so time is running out, people. So let's get those likes up for real. Tell us to hit the retweet button as well.
Facts. Make sure you're getting them in, people. Yeah, I've seen 96. Yeah, I need to see quicker than that. What I was gonna say, you know what's funny though? Yeah, Kmack just said it there. We see like a link up between Gakpo, Jota. I think we saw a little bit of that last season. Salah, Nunes. You know, you can see those two seem to work well together. Who's the odd one out in this whole thing?
What do you mean?
Who's the odd one out? There's one player you haven't named in this link up. In all the link ups, there's one player that we haven't named.
What, Gakpo?
No. There's Gakpo and Jota. That's one link up. Then you've got Salah and Nunes as the other link up. Who's not being named?
Oh, Diaz.
And this is what I keep saying about Luis Diaz. Again, this is why I say with Diaz, and people think, oh, what you think? I don't think he's a rubbish player. I think Diaz is a decent player. But guess what? Do I think he fits Liverpool's team? No. I don't think in what Klopp wants to do. No. And that's the same thing with someone like.
Do you think he's too sporadic? Do you think he's too sporadic? So he's like it's a do your own thing type of winger.
Yes. He's that type of player who needs to be able to. When Diaz is able to just express himself. Now, I think he can work with a Gakpo and Jota if Gakpo's in the team. But to have those two in the team, you then need to start playing Gakpo as like your number 8. And I ain't trying to see that. And I don't think we're going to see that.
This is the thing I felt like, because Diaz worked with Mane. Diaz and Mane worked well together. And that front three. But the only thing I say with that front three is that there was just so many goals in Salah and Mane. Diaz doing the step overs was enough. Do you know what I mean?
But
Diaz doing
would you say that his
tricks and tricks, along with Mane and Salah being the ruthless ones?
Yeah,
I felt like there was, and also I felt like there wasn't. I always said about Diaz, Mane, and Salah was that it was 3 individuals, but it was so hard to stop them. There wasn't as much I don't think there was too much cohesiveness in there. Do you know what I mean?
No. The thing is, I kind of agree with that anyway. But don't you think then, watching Diaz, his relationship with Andrew Robertson didn't really work down that left-hand side? It was always about Diaz. Remember when he came in, couldn't really speak a lick of the language. We were obviously going on a run for the quad. It was just about, bro, just come in, do your thing, bro. We've already got a team. They know what they're doing. You just do your thing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, come in, all the flicks that he did. Reece James, we remember, he retired him clearly because this guy hasn't come back ever since, really. Like, he's done all of that stuff. And that's what Diaz is about. He's very expressive. And I think in the right system, he can be that expressive type of player. I'm not saying he can't ever play in this team. Of course he can. But at the same time, does he work? If you had to pick a Klopp team for tomorrow and everyone was fit, for me, he makes the bench. Just like with Nunes. But we saw Nunes today, how he was able to take those goals. Why? Because we were able to play to his strengths, kick it and run. That's what, kick it and run. Space, Nunes got that. Yardage, Nunes got that. Get him in behind the defense, Nunes got that. But we don't want to play that way. We don't necessarily. Teams are not going to sit on the halfway line against us, knowing that we've got Salah.
But that's another reason why I think he was so good in the Portuguese league, is because you're going to get in behind with about 20 yards to run. This is what everyone's dropping back 15, 20.
100%
on defensive transition very quickly.
100%. And again, Diaz, main player in Porto's team. Go back and like people ain't gonna do it. Go back and check Diaz's stats and stuff like that. His like the XG wasn't that great prior to that. The half season that he played for Porto, it was never really high like that. It was quite low. Now I'm not saying he couldn't score goals.
In the season before he came to us, though, the mid-season thing when he came to us, he did have a good. That was a good.
That's what I said. So that mid-season he came to us, it was really good. Check prior to that though. What was Diaz like prior to that? I don't feel like it was that good. It might have been, but I'm sure I checked it and it wasn't that great. But again, maybe team player. I know Porto have a couple strikers and stuff like that. Not a problem. Diaz is the type of player when he becomes the main guy in the team and the manager allows him to kind of do his thing and whatnot, he's a better player. He's allowed. You can see it. Like he's just expressive. He likes to do all of these various different things, and that's not a problem. But when you're then talking about a player coming into such a rigid system that we've got, but a system that works when everyone does their thing, it's a little bit spooky. That's why Nunes doesn't really work unless you're going to play to his type of strengths. But Klopp doesn't want to realistically do that. And the only reason why he was able to do that was because the midfield was so shit that anytime they got the ball, all they could do was hoof it. Because the other team were just aggressive second half. They were just pressing us all the time. So all you could do is kick it. Guess what? You leave Salah and you can't leave Salah and Nunes. I don't care who you are. You're not catching them. You're just not catching these guys. They'll get in behind. So then that's where you start to see Nunes. Then he starts to get maybe into his kind of game.
Nothing of Nunes is sustaining the attack, but it's just being able to sustain the attack. And I feel like
because you're talking about in Klopp's system. But this is what I'm saying. Klopp's system, Nunes' system. At some point, the two have to meet if you're trying to get the best out of this guy. Or you're going to just have to do what we did, which is first half, you're going to play your way. Second half, when we're winning 3-0 in a game, Nunes can come on. And then that way you can just play towards Nunes' strengths and Diaz's strengths and stuff like that. And maybe, it can kind of work. But at the moment, those two for me just don't fit what a Klopp front three, what he wants, which is striker to drop deep, play on the left-hand side to kind of float around. Mo Salah, you need to facilitate that. You can chill and do what you're doing on that side, but I need you to facilitate all of that and almost be the glue to the whole kind of piece. But I need my strikers to drop deep. So it's a funny one, man. Honestly, it's a funny one, bro.
Yeah, and it's hard because you want to be critical, and it's like I also think a part of the just to go back to the defense, a part of the issue with Liverpool is also that lack of having a DM is also leaving the defense exposed. But not having a DM doesn't automatically stop the issue with the wing backs.
I was going to say,
at the end of the day, no DM in the world can screen the whole. You're not screening the whole width of the pitch. You can't. Fact. You can't screen the whole width of the pitch. You can't move faster than the ball. It's just football. You know what I mean? Fact. And I just don't know how we could play last season and still look the same defensively. The only reason, like we're playing like Van Dijk is still like in his best, like he's at his best. When really, this type of play style is destroying Van Dijk, actually, game by game. And the same thing can happen to Konate. By the way, people, 4 likes to go until we open the lines. 4 likes to go, people. 4 likes to go. And it's just, it's crazy. Like, I'm just struggling, to be fair. Gakpo in centre mid. How did you find him today as well, by the way? Gakpo in centre mid.
I think he gets a bit wasted in that position. I think, again, he tried to shoehorn Luis Diaz in the team, which is the reason why he's played him in there. Then obviously to still he wanted the combination play, which is what Gakpo can always offer you if he has Diogo Jota, in there. But I just think that's not a position that you should be playing Gakpo in. And I don't even see a situation where you would ever even do that when you've got Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis Jones to play in those kind of positions already. I don't feel like, maybe again preseason, just trying some stuff out, wants to get certain players minutes, so I get it in that sense. But moving forward, nah, I don't ever want to see Gakpo in that number 8 position. He's not a midfielder, he's not good enough to play midfield, and his qualities, in my opinion, are not really of midfielder.
Like he was too rigid, or do you feel like he just was invisible, a little bit of a passenger?
No, he was definitely invisible. Like I said 100 times though about Gakpo. He'll either do. He's exactly why I say Klopp loves him. Firmino either used to ghost in games where I don't even see, man, or this brother was linking up like no man's business, and you were like, right.
I said this even on the left wing though. On the left wing, I'd say, yo, Gakpo, when he first signed, before people would start, when Gakpo, he hit the realization after the Man U game. I think after the Man U game, people were like, oh, you know what, Gakpo, he can play still. After that, people were like, yeah, say no more, he can play. Yeah, but before that, I was like, why is it that Gakpo looks really good for 5 minutes and I don't see him for the rest of the 40 minutes?
Because that's what Firmino does, and that's what Klopp loves. That ghost one game, excellent next game.
But the thing is, though, with Firmino was more in than out. But the times he was out, he was done out here, that kind of thing.
Yeah, bro, he was done out here, bro.
Yeah, but it was more in than out. It was more in than out. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gakpo does not have the flair that Firmino has to get away with not being in the game, unfortunately. Because a successful flick can really just blind everyone to see that you've done something. Gakpo ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing that. And that's just what it is. Listen, we're going to bring in the callers all at once because we are tight for time, but let's just bring in all the callers right now. Big up J7, big up Sammy, you know what I'm saying? Big up Uncle Albert as well, and big up Zlatan as well.
Big up you,
people. Welcome. Hold on. Zlatan, I think that's some background sound there. I'm going to have to mute you, bro. But everyone else, man, them. What are you telling me? Everyone looks fed up, man. Everyone looks fed up. Fed up with the defense. Listen,
it's only pre-season, Hey, long faces and that.
It's only pre-season, people, man. Cheer up.
No, it's not even that. It's
go on, Sammy.
Nah, it's not even that. It's the fact that I feel like people are looking into this a bit too much because it is only pre-season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw the first half, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't really surprised about it. A lot of the time, from the players in the first half, I'm talking about the players in the first half. Forget that second half because that was shambolic in itself. But the first players in the first half, it just looked like they saw it as a pre-season game behind closed doors. Because remember, it was supposed to be behind closed doors, even though people could watch the game, and they just saw it as that. There was a lot of things that I was seeing that was like, in a league game, that's not really going to happen, especially in an attack. Like the chance that Jota missed, I was just like, really, you're missing that from there. Like, if you know what I'm saying. My thing is that yes, I've always had this standpoint from the, and G knows this because I've said this in the Football Terrorist group chat. 3 midfielders, 1 centre back from the start of the transfer window. That's what I wanted. Now, if Fabinho leaves, then we need another midfielder. But what the 2 games that we played, what I saw that was crying out to me is that we need to get a DM fast. This whole thing about Trent being in the midfield, being a lone 6, cut that rubbish out. Just cut that rubbish out. Now, I understand the reason why Klopp has to play that, because Henderson and Fabinho are probably on their way out. We don't really have a 6 right now. So, okay, it's a preseason game, cool. Just play him there. But really and truly, get back into the right back position. We need to get a DM, a proper DM. Amrabat, Paulinho, whoever, get someone, please. The other thing about that is the defense. Now, with the guys cutting through. I did see a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. We have to understand when we were winning with Klopp, teams were still doing that. The only thing about that is that we were cutting the chances by half. So
probably more than that. It'd be like down to 1 and 2, 1 and 2 a game.
Say again?
1 and 2 a game.
Exactly. So we need to get back to that. How we get back to that, I'm not really looking at these preseason games. Remember, we were playing Gakpo as a number 8 today.
Yeah.
When is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? Like,
of course.
It's true. That's what I said. Why would you even play?
It's more the tactical. It's more because if you noticed, I haven't actually spoken about this. We've been on this stream 50 minutes, and I haven't actually spoken about, not once, I haven't spoken about the midfield. Have you heard me say anything about the midfield today? You know why? Because I know we're never seeing these midfields. So the midfield isn't my issue. The obvious glaring issue is Trent being the DM. I don't think that's going to happen going forward. I think this is a preseason thing. I think Trent is just having to fill in there simply because Fabinho is not on tour. He's simply not there right now. So we don't actually have a DM unless it's Bryce Tetcher.
Where's Tyler Morton?
Yo.
Lol.
No, I'm not saying play Tyler Moore because I want to see him. I'm just asking.
Why are you looking for Tyler Morton?
Bro, I keep telling you about these players because in my mind I'm like, so what? Like, I understand if we have literally nobody, that's why I'm asking where is he. But then I'm like, so if Trent isn't playing there, what happens later on then? Are we gonna sign like 2 DMs like quick time and then they're just gonna come in and then Trent's just gonna go back to this inverted role? Or like, how does everyone think it's gonna work? Or,
Did you see what Cavani said about Klopp?
He said,
Liverpool need to stop faffing around and go and get Caicedo. That's what we need to do.
We might not even need to go to Caicedo. I think.
No, we do. Listen, let me tell you.
No. Wait, let me finish. Let me land. What the reason I'm saying is because Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid, so Tchouaméni might be available because they need to.
Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni doesn't want to come to Liverpool, man. Fuck that idiot. That guy has told you 1,000 times he doesn't want to come. Why the fuck do you want to go get somebody who doesn't want to come to Merseyside?
Well,
fuck him.
Does Caicedo
want to frustration, but what I'm saying is that he will be available.
Caicedo doesn't give a crap where he goes. Guy wants out of Brighton.
I think the difference is Tchouaméni's at Real Madrid and Caicedo's on like 30 bags a week. So
how many people
he's going anywhere where
want
there's
to
money.
give up the bright lights of Madrid for Merseyside?
He might be forced out. That's the point.
Hey,
the point is he might be forced out. It might not be his choice.
Listen,
guys, go on.
Those of us who watched the match today, the glaring problem we have as Liverpool is not with the forward line. Liverpool's forward line will score goals even if you put only the 4 or 5 of them out there and nobody behind. They still score. We need a decent defensive midfielder who will break up play, who will make sure that certain things are not done. Remember the 3rd goal the Greta Ford guy scored from outside the box. You have a good DM, that guy doesn't take a shot unchallenged. Okay? Let's get a good DM, and the only good DM that's available, that's Liverpool standard, Prem proven, young enough, has a high enough ceiling. Plus, we have 53 million pounds we didn't expect coming. What the fuck are we waiting for? Like we waited and we didn't get Ugarte. If we had bought Ugarte, this shit is not this thing is not a conversation anymore.
Can I also add on to
what
that?
What the fuck is wrong with us?
Just real quick. We had Adrian in goal. Now, the first goal that they scored was his fault. Literally.
Between him and
this is why I said there's context to this. Like, I'm not going to get mad at that second half. Like, it's a bit like, that's why I said I don't care about the goals. That second half, I didn't even care. Like, it's the first half. It was just more looking at it. They didn't have any shots. They had nothing on top. Like, they had none of that. It was just more looking at, okay, as everyone's mentioned, Trent in the 6, we don't want to see that. Like, we clearly all agree we don't really want to see that. It's more about, I'm looking at, okay, yes, they didn't have any shots on goal, but are they getting into the spaces? Are they still finding them kind of spaces? All right, well, why are they finding them spaces? That's more, again, second half, just everyone erase that second half of memory because we had flipping
Bro.
McConnell and Kumas up top. Like that's dead. We're never gonna see these guys ever again.
We
Like
still-
I don't care about that. It's the first half I'm looking at. We weren't bad in the first half. 100% we weren't bad at all.
We have Matip
No, you go.
Matip and Gomez could potentially be our Europa League starting centre back pairing. Look what they were doing today. We have to talk about that second half because
Okay. Listen,
Matip and Gomez
see,
was dreadful.
I don't think that team like. This is why when people tell me about Europa League,
Gomez was right back, by the way. Matip was partnered by some young youth. I forgot his name.
Exactly,
Oh,
that's what I'm
Fondre.
saying. So,
but I'm saying like, well, this is why when people talk about the Europa League and Liverpool should just walk it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think you guys have really looked at the teams that are in this thing. Like, there are some tricky teams like that we could come unstuck.
And
PSVs and
after
people
the
like that. Like,
elimination from the Champions League, better teams are going to come into the Europa League. So it's not going to be that simple.
but we know, okay, everyone here on this panel right now, we all know, and so you said it in the chat as well when we were speaking earlier on. Who are the owners? We ain't signing the players that we all want to sign and we need to sign. We ain't signing them. So I know, Albert, I agree with you. If we had the money and we had the owners, you go and get Caicedo. Heck, we should have Caicedo and Tchouameni, and we should go and get a right back and all of that. I'm with you, but realistically, that's just not gonna happen. Like we get maybe 2 more players in this whole summer, and I feel we just work with that, and then Klopp will just have to pray and hope that someone doesn't get injured and blah blah blah. That's just the realness of it. So you mentioned obviously Gomez and thing, bro. That everyone get used to it. You're seeing Matip, you're seeing Gomez next season. Just get used to it now because you're gonna see it Europa League calm. So,
but G, 7 players have left Liverpool. 6 of them are midfielders. You've got 2 in. What are you trying to say?
Okay, Albert, look, I'm not Liverpool, like I'm not agreeing with the
You are
fact that
Liverpool.
what they're
You're
actually
a fucking
doing.
Liverpool supporter. So am I.
No, I'm not the guy who's making the decisions. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. If I had my way, I'll be going out and saying, listen, maybe for one summer, you just kind of take the L in terms of the money that you spend, go out and spend crazily. Because I'm sure FFP in terms of the threshold, I'm sure we could easily spend 200-300 million. And we're not gonna breach anything. So if I had my way, yes, I would say go and do it. Just take that L for one season, and then I'm with everyone when we say Liverpool compete straight off the rip. I'm not even
right?
against it. But
Liverpool can spend 600 million without breaking FFP rules. 600.
okay, so in a realistic world, let's halve that and say 300 million is probably more or less what you'd probably end up spending if we were to do something like that. So if you go and do that, yes, go and get Inacio, Colwill, whoever, like any player you want, Albert, is the player I want. Like, we're going to agree on that. What I'm saying
right
is
now,
it's not going to happen.
You know our net spend is 95 million minus the 53 million we are getting for the players we sold. So what is this rebuild? It's a tear down. It's not a rebuild.
Okay, but listen, I'm not FSG, so you're gonna have to chat with them if you're angry about this. Like, I'm not the one making the decision.
I'm not angry.
Can I just say?
I'm like, you know what? It's like 2.5 weeks to the first match, and if we're gonna play against Chelsea with Trent as the DM, watch what happens next. See Mudryk go wild. See Sterling just run around the block, and this Nico Jackson kid, he ain't easy, man. He ain't easy. When we finish, we blame. We say, Virgil has gone down. Konate. Hey, if you're exposing them to attack without cover, what happens next? Liverpool.
Can I just say
We've
one
conceded
quick,
7 goals. We've conceded 7 goals against Bundesliga 2 teams. 7. Seriously?
Yeah, that's very true. Do you know what? I'm not too worried. I'm a very realistic Liverpool fan. I see the facts. I can go off past things that we've done, and I can make my decisions on that. I'm not really too worried about this Liverpool situation because many times I've seen this. When Liverpool gather momentum, this is when everything starts clicking and we start going on runs. So I'm not too worried about the style of play where we're getting it all together. My only worry is that how fast are we going to get this? How fast are we going to get this? That's my only worry. Are we going to have a staggering start, and then when it hits February, that's when we start going on the momentum run? Or are we actually going to start this from August, September? My thing is that we do need to get a centre-back, one centre-back. And the only reason why I say this, and the only reason why I say the second half matters for me, the only reason is because if Konate and Van Dijk go down injured, we're going to have Joe Gomez or Joe Matip in that defence. That is not going to work. These not.
And you know the law of averages say that is going to happen, right?
Exactly.
But that's why I said in the chat about getting two. Remember, that's why I was like, I feel like we need the two, because having the one, as you mentioned, if someone gets injured, like we said, the options are these guys, and I don't trust Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's the same age as Colwell, so that already tells you where the levels are at this current moment in time. So do we think he's ready? Probably not. So I don't trust him enough to just throw him in like Reece Williams and Nat Phillips and just say, yeah, just come in. And now we need someone maybe of a bit more quality to help us out in these kind of situations. But guys, we know who the owners are. Like, we're all talking about it. We know who the owners are. This is not happening. It's not happening.
This is why I said, when you said two, and I said, to be honest, I would love to right now, but knowing FSG, I would be happy with one and work with one.
Can I ask a question? And I stand for correction. Has any of you seen Nat Phillips in Germany?
I think he's going Leeds,
Yeah, I feel like he's going
8 million quid to Leeds United.
Right.
So that's 60 million actually.
Right. So we didn't see Phillips, and Reece Williams is also gone. So basically, you don't need to be a sorcerer or a druid to know that they are trying. They are trying to bring up Jarrell Kwanzaa.
That's a treat.
Yeah. You don't need to be. You don't need to be reading Asterix and Obelix comics to know that they are gonna bring Jarrell Kwanzaa up. I don't mind that, but at least you need one more experienced centre back. Okay, so I ask another question. Given that we are so cheap, right? Why did we look at Evan Ndika to just go to Roma? Why did we look at that? Why did we even look at Tielemans just to go to Aston Villa for free? Given that we are so cheap, why do we do that?
Okay, the Tielemans one, I don't rate Tielemans. I can't lie to you. I personally don't rate
him. My brother, we all don't rate him. The problem is we are not buying anybody, right? Fish may be your favorite dish, but without no money, it's just a wish, right? So just because you don't have money to buy protein, fucking get some tofu or something, right? Can't buy eggs, buy fucking tofu.
What? Okay. Let's go by that logic, yeah? I don't like tofu, so why would I buy it?
Then you're in trouble. You're going to become protein deficient. That's what we're going to become.
but I say that because that's the situation that Klopp's in. As much as I laugh about it and I always joke about it, he is always on about the right player. If Ndika and Tielemans ain't that type of player, that even on a free, like that must give some indication. On a free, I didn't even want this guy. That must mean that he just generally I don't rate the player even on a free to grab him. Listen, Albert, I'm with you. You know I'm with you when it comes to Klopp and these things. But sometimes you have to look at it on the other side and just think the reality of the situation is what he's probably going to do, and I can see it. He's going to try and look more within the squad as opposed to going too far out of it to try and find these players that we all keep talking about. So Caicedo, Tchouameni, Valverde, Sangare, Luis, it doesn't make no difference. We'll find it here.
As an engineer, I'll tell you that there are no absolutes in life. Okay, yeah. Everything is like a number line. Is where you weight it. I don't think we've done this before, my brother. In 93, 94, Graham Souness completely scattered our team. Okay, and he brought in kids. He brought in McManaman, whatever his name is. He brought in Robbie Fowler. He brought in other kids who were not that bad. But because we lacked experience and skill, it cost us 30 years to win a title. Okay? So That in of itself is not a problem. The problem is we have gutted our midfield. That's the word, right? Somebody disagree with me. We've gutted our midfield. And
does Caicedo add experience though?
For all of us, all the players we want gone are gone. That's the truth. We all know that. Now, to replace them, we have to replace them. And Liverpool is not Brentford. We are not Brighton. We are Liverpool. Liverpool fans expect, you all expect. Listen, I want to be a fly on this wall in Big Six bands if Chelsea beat us on the first day. I want to see Mount fucking go Doolally, ranting and raving and hopping about his mic like a
We
fucking...
get smashed.
Exactly. Then you want to see me going fucking crazy all
We
over
get
the fucking
smashed.
place, right? That we've been beaten.
Why do you want me
scares
having
me.
heart palpitations? Wait, Uncle, why do you want me to have heart palpitations? I thought
Sorry?
you were veterans. I said, why do you want me to have heart palpitations?
You spent the whole of this year having palpitations. I saw you when we lost to Bournemouth. That day I thought you were gonna die. I was really worried for you.
God forbid.
That one was bad. I'm not gonna lie. I generally thought it was the end of the world. I was in a bad way. Liverpool had me in a bad way. I'll be real.
Can I ask a question to the panel? Can I ask a question to the panel? Panel, first of all, the first question, you hold this in your mind. Do you believe that Tsimikas is the reincarnation of Alberto Moreno? Second of all, our youngsters. Now, I said this, G knows this. I said this in the group chat. 3/4 of our youngsters are not good. They are not good.
Academy's terrible.
Not good.
You mean not good enough?
No, not even not good enough. They're just not good. They're not good.
I agree with you. And I will even start as far as Elliot.
Like, if you name it, I rate the Dork brother. He just needs to finish on it. His finishing products. He just needs to work on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones, he's all right. He's all right. Maybe I can't really classify Harvey Elliott, but the rest, oh my word! They are absolutely...
Look at the guy. Look at the one that gave up. Look at the one that gave up the goal today. How the fuck do you go into a season with that guy? What's his name?
But that's what I said. I can't really look at the second half because most of them were...
Nobody's gonna argue with you, my brother, because you are right. You won't get any points for what you just said. Yeah, useless.
I think the reason that we keep this kind of players is because we would assume, or we want them to become good, so that we can sell them for a premium. I think the other side of FSG's greed is to find youth players that are not good enough for us, for Liverpool, that can come through the youth, but can be sold for profit so that we can make money off of them. I think that's part of the business strategy that FSG has.
Zlatan, wouldn't it make more sense then to go down the Chelsea? Like, I don't want to go too much off topic, but wouldn't that make more sense to go down the Chelsea route of doing things who Chelsea have gone through the years and had so many players come through the youth, so many players who are not good enough, who we all know that we're just never ever going to make it at Chelsea. Wouldn't it make more sense to go down that route where we loan them out to good teams? So then, we're seeing, I mean, Conor Bradley, everyone's talking about him playing at right back. No disrespect to League One, no disrespect to Bolton. Donny was at Bolton though. Like, there's no way anyone here can convince me that you go from Bolton to Liverpool and you're just going to be like, yeah, that's fine. You can just walk back into the team. It's not a problem. But the Championship to the Premier League is tough. Like, and that's the Championship. We're talking League One. And they weren't even the best team in League One. Let's get that right. So then I'm looking at it thinking, okay, all right, I can allow one. Reece Williams has now just gone. I just checked it now when you mentioned it. He's gone back on loan to Aberdeen. The guy was at Blackpool. He's been at Swan. Like, we're not giving these guys the, would I say, right loans. And obviously, Samuel, you said it there about 3/4. 95% of them are not good. Not even, I'll go as far as 9. As you just mentioned, Ben Doak and Kai Gordon. I need to see him what he looks like nowadays. But let's just say Ben Doak is the only one that we can all like hang our hats on and say, yeah, he looks like he could actually probably even play tomorrow. Like if I needed someone to play, I'm not going to be mad if he's the one that's playing. The rest of them, Scanlon, maybe I've seen a couple things, but he's probably too young to really get himself in there. Kwanzaa, he was at Bristol Rovers last season. So again, he's not really ready. Like, we're not seeing anything. So wouldn't it have made more sense to go down that Chelsea route where stop loaning them to Aberdeen and loan them to real teams so we can get some real money?
All those kids,
that would make sense. That would make sense, G. That would make sense, G. The problem is, I don't think we have the structure yet.
All those kids will only be good for IFK Petsamo in freaking Nokoping when we are playing on a ginger minge with no grass, right? They will be good for those kinds of places. You can't come and play Conor Bradley against Mudryk. You can't do that because you know the result. You know what's going to happen.
Gent, I have a question. Did Liverpool say that we are not going for any more players in the transfer window because Uncle Albert is about to have a heart attack?
No, I'm good. I'm
No. You're
I'm fine. I've just
you're going back to your old self again. We're trying to bring you back to the light.
I am fine. See, guys, my old self is what happened last season, right? My old self.
But
the
Uncle Albert,
that I was given
is
what happened last season. I'm good.
Uncle Albert, I know. Listen. Let me talk for a little bit.
Go ahead.
You stop with the Ugarte thing. Ugarte, he's a red card in the making. All right, we didn't know that.
I haven't mentioned Ugarte, but go on.
You did earlier. You did. Ugarte, we didn't know that Fab and Hendo was going to leave. That's why we never looked at it. So that one is we shouldn't even talk about it. Casedo, I agree. We should look for him. However, the academy thing, G and myself did a show about it. Please, if you get a chance, go check it about it. I'm very frustrated. And then when it comes to the academy, it's gonna pay for the the training center that they just built, the AXA thing. That's why when people say, "Oh, AXA built the stadium, the training center for FSG," that's not true. You sell your players, it pays for itself in the long run. So that's a good investment that they did. The problem is the coaches that are in those academies are not good enough. That's why these kids are not getting there. Even Ben Doak is making way too much mistakes as a 17-year-old who plays with adults. Like today, you saw many of it. Yeah, he looks good when he has the ball and he runs with it, but then what does he do with it? How many Liverpool players have we seen come out, excite us, and then when it comes to the final third, non-existence? So with Ben Doak, I'm very worried about it. I don't want to see him, we send him to Preston. We send him to Aberdeen. I will lose it. Send him to Europe somewhere where he could learn another style of play. That is something that Liverpool don't do. Do that because, and also maybe because they are not good enough to go to those teams.
Yeah, very
but
true.
we've just sent that kid who talks too much. We've just sent him to RB Leipzig, right? That talkative little prick. We've just sent him to RB Leipzig, right?
Respect Carvalho, man. You're spot on what you're saying. Never gave him a chance. One bit.
Yeah, but he bitches too much. Listen, I'm not one to defend Klopp, right? But on this matter, I am 100% with him. That kid needs to go, and he shouldn't even come back.
I'm not gonna lie.
Have you seen what he said today? There are many players in Liverpool who want to play. Harry fucking Wilson was in Liverpool for 7 years. He never kicked the ball. Look at what he's doing at Fulham right now. He never complained. When the time comes and you want to go, go. If the manager doesn't see you good enough, you're not going to. One moment he's in a magazine with a spread saying that all I'm doing is I'm a fashion model. Well, stop wearing dresses. The other guy who was wearing dresses in Everton, he can't kick shit, right? So do what Curtis Jones did. Knuckle down and get your place. In defense of Jurgen Klopp, when this kid came, he was given a spot 2-3 times. He was in the team. He was playing. He kept getting bumped off the ball.
He
So
still
what's he to
scored
do?
goals.
Keep
But
you
He
why-
there
still
that you
scored
get
goals.
This is what I'm
you
saying.
keep
But
getting bummed off the ball.
He
yeah,
still
but
scored goals.
uncle,
This boy
let me-
has refused to play for under 21 in Portuguese under 21. So what do? You demand a spot because what? Your name is Fabio. Well, Fabio
Klopp-
is only in the romantic novels. He should fuck off.
Klopp brought Carvalho on in the 90th minute to get like a 5-second run out against Real Madrid. Do you think he wasn't going to be pissed off about that?
Yeah, but that's
100%.
just the only thing I'll say about Carvalho is that I think Carvalho is actually more talented than Harvey Elliott.
100%.
But you see his talent isn't good enough to still break into Liverpool's team because unfortunately he can't ride challenges. Yes, he scored a few goals here and there, but in terms of the physicality of the Premier League, he couldn't handle it. Harvey Elliott is a right winger. Fabio Carvalho is a 10/left winger. They were both played out of position in the 8 by Klopp. One was able to handle it to at least a standard to warrant him playing for Liverpool in Harvey Elliott, who, regardless of what people think of Harvey Elliott in right centre mid, there were still performances that encouraged him to be able to play there. Hence, before he got the ankle injury, and a few performances after that. I personally think I don't like him at the RCM, but he was able to look Premier League ready to play there. Not to Liverpool's absolute level to get us to the top, but good enough to play there. Now, every time Carvalho was put in the 8, take him off at half time. That's what I found myself saying. Every time it's the Everton game, get him off. Get him off. If I'm screaming, get him off the pitch. I don't care if I see him ball rolling, step overs, tidy. What's tidy if you're eating grass every 5 seconds? He was eating grass. And I generally look at Carvalho and go, good shot, great dribbling, agile, quick off the mark, great awareness.
Technical ability.
He's got all of that. But unfortunately, he can't ride challenges. Every time I'm seeing the referee do this. You know what that means?
Do you Mont, since you bring up the Everton match, do you remember in the Everton match? Do you remember in the Everton match? He had Amadou Onana challenge him, and Amadou Onana just nearly kicked him off the park.
And they're the same age. Aren't they the same age? They're the same age.
Banks.
You should grow up, man.
So let me land with this. So I think he's a baller, man. I can't lie. I do think he's a baller. But you see the mentality. Yes, things could not go your way for a year, but you barely been at the club for a year. So for you to be doing all that shows that at the highest level, listen, football is a cruel sport. Man, I need to understand this. If you are not in favor, you make yourself in favor by working hard. The second you complain, and the second you can work hard for 199 days of the season.
That one day.
The 200th day that you down tools, there's the door. There's the door. Because you know what? There's many men like you, unfortunately. Do you know what I'm saying? There's many men like you. I don't really like. I sympathize with Carvalho, but at the same time, he hasn't helped himself. So therefore, Carvalho, you are not going to. He's not going to win. He's not going to win a Premier League for Liverpool. I think his potential is scary, but he just had to hold. You see the complaints and all that. Just hold that down. For me, he just should have held it down.
And his thing for going to the press all the time. I mean, what's that all about?
I don't blame him.
Banks, this is what I was going to say, though. Don't you think it's kind of a culture in Liverpool right now where some of these players are way too comfortable? CJ was like that too.
Did you see his interview?
Yeah, you have to work yourself into the manager's front side, because you can't sit there and think, oh, I should get in. The same thing I'm looking at was Tsimikas right now. Tsimikas, you've been in the club for 2 years. Why do you still want to be behind Robo?
But this is the thing that annoyed me about a lot of the midfielders. A lot of the midfielders are more talented than Henderson. But because of the application, Henderson was starting every damn game. And this was annoying me. Because
but you have to understand, Henderson was giving his life. Henderson was giving his legs to the club.
But that's the thing. If
you want to play, you got to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
See, that's the difference between a Henderson and some of the others. It's like when we were kids, you start school, Some people are really, really bright. They don't apply themselves. By the time you get to 12th grade, they're at the bottom of the class. But when you were in second grade, they were on the top of the class. Henderson is not talented, basically zero talent, okay? But he applies himself. He knows what he wants. He's disciplined, and he has gotten himself there, okay? This other kid has all the talent in the world, and instead of focusing and eating some McDonald's and hitting the gym and getting some bulk, he's sitting there bitching all the time and talking to GQ. Does GQ fucking play football? He should fuck off. Tired of his ass, man.
But this is why I do respect what Curtis Jones did from the tail of the season. He buckled down, and I don't really rate Curtis Jones like that, but he warranted a lot of starts because he was playing well and buckled down and ended up applying himself. So, as going back to what Mont said with the whole Carvalho thing, yes, he's a talented player, but I'm not gonna lie, he did not help himself at all. I mean, there was multiple times in the start of the season where we were playing, and maybe this is Klopp's fault, playing Harvey Elliott and Carvalho in the number 8, and it was absolutely terrible. They were getting weight stopped on the pitch.
But you still apply yourself.
Like I said, when I decide to defend Klopp, guys, he's right.
Yeah,
because I'll not be caught. I know of it.
But this also, I also blame the manager for this. He makes some of these players way too comfortable, and and
also false promises.
Exactly.
I believe that Klopp probably promised Carvalho certain things that weren't exactly translated onto the pitch. That is probably, again, there's always things that we don't know behind closed doors. I think personally that's one of the things. Because remember, when players sign, they are promised things.
Carvalho said on his interview he was promised that he was going to come play as the 10, but we don't play as a 10. So that's why I can't really blame him, because he was promised something and Klopp ultimately went against it.
That should tell you that Klopp was against him coming to the club.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I saw a little Twitter about that as well.
There was a second portion of that where he mentioned that he was brought on or was promised by people who are not there anymore, or that promise was made by people that were not there. So that tells me it's either Julian Ward or someone who left the club,
Michael
Edwards or something.
Yeah.
But you guys, Robo was not Klopp's pick. That was Edwards' pick. But look what Robo did. He played in front. He made sure that the manager sees him.
Yeah,
because he applied himself.
Robo listens to Klopp.
He fitted the system.
Robo had to apply himself because when Alberto Moreno is probably the worst left back I've seen,
and Klopp loved him
in the last probably 10 years. Yeah, maybe a bit more than that. It's the worst left back I've seen in a while. But the second Robo stepped in, Moreno played at a level I had not seen him play at since maybe the Tottenham game in 20.
His first year.
13, 14? Was it when he ran? When he ran the whole length and he hit it bottom corner. That game.
Yo, I thought we had a sick left back when he did that. When Robbo came in, does no one not remember in the 2018 season where Moreno actually had a string of like 8-9 games where he was like, he played the final in Klopp's first season.
He was not. Robo did not play until like October or November.
Exactly. And then and how about this? Moreno didn't even get benched.
He got injured.
Moreno got injured. He got injured. I remember he got injured. He didn't get benched. He was playing so well, he got injured. And we were only seeing Robbo. Robbo was coming on for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and we were like, oh, this Robbo kid looks. We were like, at the time, it was just the energy thing. Like
you know when he had his full 90 minutes when we played City in January.
Because Moreno, was it a back injury? I can't remember. I think it might have been a back injury.
Yeah, I think it was like some hamstring injury or something like that.
So,
he went out
and he never looked back.
And Robo came in. Yeah, Robo came in, and that was the first, I think, full 90 minutes we actually utilized Robo, and he was pressing all the way. And that's when we found out, hey, this guy's actually really good.
And actually, Robbo's a good footballer, innit? But Robbo ain't like Zinchenko on the ball. Like he's not like Cancelo in terms of
he's a traditional right fullback, isn't it?
Yeah, he's more traditional in the sense that he will put his head through a brick wall. But he's not. He's good defensively and he's good going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just say he is not the type of player fullback that is like Marcelo. He's not technical, but he's very vigorous, very.
He's direct.
He's very direct. Yes,
direct wing back. For me, he was like not as strong Antonio Valencia, where Valencia was more butch and built, but he was more. Do you know what I'm saying? He'll run through a wall. Really, at one point, at one point he had that delivery, that first time delivery, he had it on lock at one point. Remember, Robbo's the defender with the most assists of all time.
Shaqiri, remember that cross against Fulham to Shaqiri, first time. Crazy.
Like Robbo don't do that no more. Remember, I don't know. Robbo don't do that no more.
But guys, remember his pass. Remember his pass to Gakpo against Man U.
Yeah.
But that's my whole point. He made sure that he get in front of Moreno. Moreno was Klopp's number one choice.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate because of the injury, but
injuries exactly. But he made sure. He made sure.
Came in and coasted, and then Moreno could have just the second he was fit again, could have just stepped back in the team.
Yeah, eventually he forced Klopp's hand. He forced Klopp's hand to be like, you can't look elsewhere anymore. And this is what we're talking about. Some of these players have to force the manager's hand.
Yeah.
The manager has his favorites. We all know that. But you have to force his hand.
As in life, Kwesi, even in a family of same mother, same father kids, your parents have their favorites. So what you need to do if you feel underappreciated is to force the issue.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't.
The only person that done that in our team was Jota.
Uncle Albert, you could apply the same to YouTube. Trust me, but we're not going to go into that one. We're going to leave it there. You know what I'm saying? Don't make people have to watch your content. You know what I'm saying?
Can I address something?
Sorry, go on.
Can I address something? Big Six Diamond, what I actually said was Robo is not as technically gifted as Marcelo. So just to clarify.
Sammy, what was you going to ask, bro?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the very serious position that we need to fill, which is the DM position. Now,
sorry, bro, that's my bad. Sorry, that was actually sorry. Go on.
Yeah, the DM position. I know there's been names that have been thrown about. There hasn't been a lot of talk about this one guy. Now, if we're able to get him, I think we should go all out for him. My thing is personally Kimmich. Go for Kimmich. Because the situation at Bayern Munich right now, I believe he wants to leave Bayern Munich and try somewhere else. I think he will cost like 69 million or 59 million. I can't remember the actual price. But for the money that if Fabinho goes and Henderson and obviously the money from Phillips as well, we should just go all out for him. What do you lot think?
Problem with Kimmich is we can't pay him.
Yeah. That's the only thing with Kimmich. But that is for another video. Guys, I have to end this with 135 minutes. I usually run these for. Yeah.
Why do you always end it when it's best? You remind me of something I don't want to talk about because my wife is walking around here, man. What's all that?
Because it's a late show today, man. I know. Today I usually don't go for longer, but today I've been traveling all day, man. Obviously, you lot make sure we're back. Obviously tomorrow.
By the way, I agree with you, Sam. Kimmich is the player that we should be going for, but that's the conversation.
He earns £325,000 a week. If we start paying him anywhere near that, you have problems in your dressing room. That's the problem.
Tell the dressing room to grow up and grow up.
Exactly. I showed up. I showed up to come.
Money, honey. Dressing room like money.
I showed up to calm down Uncle Albert. He was about to catch a rhythm.
Thank you so much.
I say I came to calm you down. You were about to lose your heart.
I'm always calm. I told you guys. I've been married since 1989. I'm calm all the time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for jumping in.
Big up, everyone.
Kasi as well, obviously.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Samuel is obviously we go. Me and Samuel go way back for those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? So big yourself up as well. Hope you see you on some more of the shows, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's another episode of Big Six Bands. Just to guys let you know, we'll be live tomorrow at around 6:30, just after Saeed's show. Catch me on Saeed's show, then obviously on my show, Wednesday, midday, and the evening. Thursday, 7 o'clock, I believe. Friday.
Hey, Mons, can you ask Saeed a question, please?
Yeah.
Ask him what kind of goalkeeper do they think they get it?
What kind of goalkeeper? What, sorry?
What kind of goalkeeper they think they are getting? Because if it's the same owner now from Ajax, I'm sorry, this is gonna be comedy.
I'll definitely ask him that one. Don't you worry.
Kwesi.
Yeah. Okay, my bad.
But yeah.
Don't let them change. Don't let them change their mind. We know it's coming. Just
Friday,
Apologies. Apologies.
Friday All-Star panel as well. And yeah, I believe, I'm not sure. I need to look at some of the watch-alongs. We might do watch-along. Yeah, we'll think about it. But listen, people, make sure we subscribe. Keep us on the road to 5.3. We're already nearly a quarter of the way there, soon to be halfway there, hopefully in the next day or so. Make sure you guys slap the like button if you're watching this back. Drop a comment on what you guys think about Liverpool's defense. I want to see. There have been some massive arguments, not even arguments, debates in the comment section that I've been loving. I do see these comments, by the way. So make sure you drop a comment, smash a like, and we'll see you in the next one, people. Take care.
Boom.